Hello and welcome back to another episode of Land Rover Restorations, where we're restoring my 1955 Series 1 Land Rover. This episode is going to be pretty much bodywork because that's all we got left to do. I might do a couple of the roll cage and that. It depends how we get on. Trying to figure out what the roll cage looks like, because I thought I was just going to put this. It's not a roll cage, it's like a ladder rack in the back that holds up. It looks like a roll cage as far as I can make out. I've got to get that made, so I need to know what it looks like. I'll show you some of the bodywork and how far we've got so far. Last time we had the tub outside, upside down, spraying the underside of it, and I was waiting for the weather to get better. Then I had a bit of a brainwave. I thought, why don't I just bring the tub in, put it on the vehicle now that the underside's done. It's not fixed down, it's just placed there, and then I can get on with it regardless of the weather. I'm going to sheet all the Land Rover down and mask it all off, and I can even spray it in here, so it can just stay in here now and then get bolted down once it's done. I've emailed the RAF to ask them if they've got any images of it, so I can just see at least a site or an aircraft crash rescue unit. I have got some pictures of them, but they're all from the front, and I really need to know what this cage or this ladder rack look like. I will take a guess if I can't, because I've got a rough idea. So I'll show you how far we've got. So basically ground it all down. So got a angle grinder on the angle grinder with like a flappy paddle grip, took all the paint off. And I don't know if you remember, but this back corner was absolutely battered. All this was all just battered in and a mess, and this was missing. So this is actually a bit of metal from a Series 3, well, this bit off of a Series 3. So what I've done is I've just measured back and cut the bit, and then obviously use that on here. So there's that one that side, and I've done the same that side. Just put it down there. All this is painted. So basically the paint line was there before. This was still galvanized, but this was the paint line. So that top bit will still galvanised, everything else will go red right the way down. So once it's all prepped up, which it nearly is, I've just got to do some more sanding, and then it's ready for priming and painting. I'll put it into position where it should be, and I'll also sand the back of the chassis down and paint that red while I'm at it, so I can just all get sprayed the same colour. The inside is nearly there. I stripped all the paint off of here, stripped all the paint off of here, the top of here. I've just got to strip these sides and that, and then give it all a good final sand once it's all stripped. So that's nearly all done. I have straightened up all these. These will bent in both sides. The doors are still down there. The door tops there pretty bent, so I've got to straighten them up. So yeah, nearly there. So when you strip the paint with I call them flappy paddle discs, I don't know what they are really called, but these discs, you do damage the aluminium a little bit, and as you can see all here. So when I did the door originally, I just sprayed it and I thought, well, that'd be fine, but it looked rubbish because all these marks were here. So what I have to do now is get like a credit card or a scraper and put filler all over, really thin, and it just fills all these. I've done this now, so all these are filled, so it'll come out quite nice when it's done. Quite a bit of fill on that back corner, but there's nothing we could do about it. It's not 100% perfect because it's still got its bumps and marks, because it's well, nearly 70 years of abuse this tub's had. It's had quite a hard life, so I think it's going to look pretty good though when it's done. So yeah, what I'll do is bring you back when it's all masked off, and probably when we are spraying the etch primer. And once we've etch primed it, then we then spray it all red, and then bolt it into place, and that's that bit done. As you can see from here, I don't know if I showed before, but this is where these plates went. One there and one this side. So there's definitely plates there. I don't know when they were though, because I don't know, still can't figure it out. Yeah, can't figure it out, because maybe a hoop come up off of there and back down again off those plates. And yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. If it was about there, then the ladder would sit on top of the cab there. So yeah, it might be right. I might just get a loop made up, a couple of plates down the bottom, and a loop up over, so when they come to the back, I'll get some wooden ladders and they just sit up over the side there. And I'm looking for some vintage fire extinguishers I can stick in as well, and the tailgate. So I've got a few bits to get yet, and our windscreen wiper, motor or two. So yeah, I'll just keep that all sheeted down, mask all the wheels, mask all the chassis, mask all that lot, and then it can all just be sprayed in here. So yeah, like I say, next time will be when it's primered. Okay, so all Land Rover masked off. We masked off down to that line, all ready to go. All of this is all masked off underneath, everywhere's masked. So just started spraying the etch primer, which I thought I'd show you, but just here there's a circle and a circle and a circle, which I'm pretty sure, and there's one over there as well, pretty sure that they were where the fire extinguishers stood. So I am on the lookout for some vintage fire extinguishers. So yeah, it's all ready to go. Just going to etch prime it now, and then let that go off, and then do the red. So yeah, I'll just do a bit of etch priming. Okay, all primed. All looks pretty good. That primer is a bit of a git to put on because it's quite thick. Doesn't spray ideally, you've got to thin it, but thin it quite heavily, about 20-30%. But then, because it's an etch primer, because it's obviously straight onto bare aluminium, it's quite thick to put on. So when you thin it, if you thin it too much, it becomes too runny. I obviously haven't primed that because that's all painted already, so we just paint straight on top of that with the red. The only bit we're not overly happy with, all this looks really good, but we've just got here, you see that crease that still shows, and that little bit there, it looks worse on the camera, but the red paint is actually quite forgiving. It does, when you spray things, it almost gets rid of them. Like I said, I didn't want it immaculate, but I'm not sure if I'm happy with this really, but I'm not sure how to get that out. I could maybe try tapping it from the inside, and the problem is you try and fill it, you're filling it to nothing. It's a bit awkward. And that we could possibly fill, but then you end up filling over the top of all the rivets. So yeah, I'll have a think, see if I decide to tidy it up. The rest of it's all pretty good. It's not that bad down that side. I mean, like I said, it is 70 years old and had a hard life, so we've got it back quite a way, and I don't want it to be absolutely immaculate showroom. I want it to be a usable Land Rover, but I'm just not sure if that's going to be good enough, so we will decide. But yeah, all good. Okay, so next time I'll film it, we'll be putting a red on, and we would have decided about that. Okay, so I couldn't leave these bits, a little bit of filler in there, and I've had to get a bit serious because I really didn't like that bit. So bashed out that dent there, filled all that, and they're going to get the sander out, sand it all back, and it'll look a million times better. It won't be perfect, but it'll be a million times better. Okay, so while I'm doing that, Alistair, my son, is going to get on, and I've just bought these. I managed to find 2 windscreen wiper motors. So there they are, and they both work. These bits should be cleaned up, and these bits here should be black. So Alistair's going to get it all wired, strip them all down, get them all wire brushed, get all these bits painted black, get these bits painted black, and ready to go on. Okay then, bit of an update. Obviously tub's all finished. I put all the lights on yesterday. So we've got the lights on now. Everything's working, all the indicators work, all brake lights, everything works. See, it all looks quite cool now. I am just, as we speak, painting these doors, well, these lids over here. That's just the underside of them. One coat, and then I'll give the undercoat, give it a second coat, and then turn them over and do the top once it's dry. I am waiting on, well, I've just got a price for the tyres, which is a lot of money, 1,200 quid for all 5 tyres. So I think I'm going to get them done next. So the wheels and tyres can go on and it can actually sit on its own wheels. I am waiting on the RAF to give me a picture of the back so we know how to make this loop over. I got some wiper motors that you obviously saw us reconditioning, taken apart, put back together again, cleaned them up. There's one there and obviously the one over there. They're all wired up now and working. I've taken the flaps off because I did not put proper seals on when I put it together, and I actually found some proper rubber seals from Craddock's it was, so I bought some proper rubber seals, so I'm just going to stick them back on. And then I think we are going to look at mounting my spotlight on some pictures I've seen of different Land Rovers. They have the spotlight here somewhere. A couple of them are up here, one of them's here. So I don't think there's any right or wrong. I think it was just as they did it when they were doing them. So I'm thinking about using this bracket here somehow, trying to make some sort of platform, maybe a little plate, then mounted my light on. It will obstruct the passenger a bit, but it seems to do that anyway in all the pictures. Even the ones that are a bit higher up, there's some that are mounted up here, still obstructs the passenger view a bit. But like I say, all it was for is shooting out and getting to the airplane on the runway, so it wasn't really matter what the passenger's looking at. He can reach around and operate the light. So yeah, we're gonna have a look at that next, getting that in place. And then we'll have the sign back, put that on. We've got the bell, we'll have the cage, we'll have the ladders. Just got to get some wooden ladders and yeah, be there. So yeah, when I bring you next time, we'll have the flaps back on and we'll be looking at the light. Okay, so the doors are on, or little lids, whatever they're called. They're all on and done. Next, I'm just on the lookout for a tailgate. I'm getting the tyres fitted tomorrow. So I'm going to go and get the tyres fitted tomorrow, load them up in the van in a bit and go and get them fitted. I've got the wheel nuts cleaning because this is an original 1950 packaging that they come in. So I've had to put them in some methylated spirits to clean off all the grease. They pack them in grease. So that's them being clean now, ready for tomorrow, so I can bolt the wheels on. So next job is the spotlight. So there's the spotlight. So I'm going to make that bracket up. I'm going to use this to hold it because this is actually quite a sturdy bit. You're not going to bend this. So I'm going to make a bracket up, out, and then flat, like a flat top. And bolt it onto here. I've started on the bracket. So this is going to be the rough. Just started bending a couple of bits of this thin bar. Well, it's quite thick, but you know, thin bar. So what I'm going to do is go that drill through there, and then that's going to be where it mounts onto the windscreen bracket. And then up here, I'll cut this off and weld a big bit of plate on the top to take the foot of the bottom of the light. So that will bolt onto it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to strip this light down, get it all cleaned. You see that was actually yellow in the past, same as a Land Rover. I got this off of somebody from off the internet, so I don't actually know where it come from, but I think it's pretty much the correct light. So we can get all these brass bits cleaned, get it all stripped back. I'll get it repainted red, make sure it all works. I'll make the bracket and then we can get it mounted. So yeah, we'll show you how we get on with this. Okay, so that's the bracket we just made. So yeah, up round, welded it there, doubled that up, put this plate on the top, which I'm now going to drill the 4 holes on for the bit to fit on. Around this side, just got like a strut coming back to here, and then bolted it back on there. Just got to tidy these welds up with the grinder. I'll go and get the bit. So we've taken the light apart. This is obviously the bit that holds the light, so that will sit on there and bolt down through. So yeah, we'll be pretty much like that, which I think looks pretty good. So yeah, next thing, I'm just going to take it over to the bench, drill 4 holes in this plate, in this, take it back off, and then primer it all with some epoxy resin paint. Let that go off, and then we'll paint it red, and it can go back on the vehicle. So yeah, we've taken the light apart and started stripping it. So yeah, taking a lot of the paint off. It was actually red and then yellow and blue like the rest of the Land Rover, and I didn't get this light with the Land Rover. I just picked it up. Ooh, picked it up. So I think possibly it was it is the correct light, which is good. So yeah, we'll carry on stripping that, get this stripped, get the frame stripped over there, and get it mounted on the vehicle. Okay. So bracket done and painted. Looks quite good, I think. Yeah, that's how it sits, and then obviously a light sits on top of that, bolts on through those 4 holes. So the light has been all stripped down, wire brushed down, stripped, primed, painted. Now it's nice and sunny, we painted it out here, and there's all the bits. So all good, get all that put back together, and it's all nice and dry. Had a slight change of plan on the inside with regards to, so we did have the switch over this in this hole for the bell, and I thought, well, is it up for the driver to be operating the bell, or is it the passenger? So what I've decided to do is I've ordered another one of these auxiliary panels that you can get. I'm going to stick it this side, put the bell this side, and the light switch this side, so they'll both be this side, so the passenger can operate them. So once that turns up, ordered off eBay, they're only cheap, about a tenner. Stick that one in there, and I'll just make up a blanking plate for that, and I'll paint those 2 blue grey and get them installed. I've ordered a light switch from Holden's and a new bulb for the spotlight, which is going to sit on top of there, obviously out there. So all good. So yeah, just working where to take the wire and feed for the light. I know it looks a nightmare, but it's not. It's really straightforward. Just goes to, that's where the wire and loom all meets in there. Find a feed. I'm going to decide what feed to use for the light, and then bring that through to here, because these 2 are for the bell. That's the live, so that's the ignition live. So when the ignition's on, that's powered, and then that goes straight to the bell, and then the bell earths. So you obviously have power to the switch, in the switch, out the switch, down to the bell, and the bell goes to earth. Even though it's negative earth, it all still works the same way. So yeah, quite happy with that bracket. We did shut the bonnet on these, which has knocked some paint off that side and knocked some paint off this side, but such is life. But the other big thing is we have wheels, tyres, sorry, which look really good. That's Alistair's feet. He's just underneath, tidied up a little bit the chassis that wasn't quite painted properly, a little underneath one of the outriggers. Yeah, she looks good with the tyres now, and that's the spare, which on some of the pictures I've seen goes on here, but this has obviously never had the circular mount, so I think that spare wheel is going to go on that mount there, because that's a spare wheel holder, so it's standing in the back here. So we are seriously getting there now. Bell on, the light will be on soon. Our friend will bring the aircraft crash rescue sign, have that done. Still waiting for the RAF just to tell us about this roll cage, how that went, or ladder rack, how that went. And I need a tailgate. So I'll either have to buy a brand new tailgate or see if I can get a second hand one. I have been looking, but I haven't found one yet. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay. So the light is all finished. We left these bits bronze, painted the rest of it. The wiring comes out the back, obviously an earth there, and then this red one goes down. There's a lovely purpose-built hole in that rubber through there, comes down through there. I've clipped it on with the sort of clips that you use along there and there, ready to be wired up. When I said last time earth, I meant positive earth. This is not a negative earth vehicle, it's a positive earth. So basically the battery connects straight onto the live of the battery, which is this side. Sorry, the live of the battery, which is that side, connects straight on to the earth of the body, so it goes straight onto the body. So you have your live go onto the body first, and then your earth goes round to your electrical system. So basically it works exactly the same as negative earth, but it just works the other way around. So they're exactly the same. You still earth things out, but in theory the way that light is working is the power is coming from the earth, in theory, up into the light, out of the light, and then back down to the switch. Where if it was negative earth, it would come through the live, up into the light, out the live, and then earth out on there. So positive and negative earth, exactly the same thing, but this would have been that way for this year. So anyway, there's the light all done, all works, got the new bulb in there, cleaned it all up now. So yeah, all works a treat. I have just got to, made the little blanking plate and sprayed it with a primer. And there's the other auxiliary panel that I've also just sprayed with a primer and drilled the holes in it to hold the two switches. So now I'm just going to paint these two blue-grey, get them in place. I ordered some number plates a while ago because those up there, the original ones, well, not original ones, they've been made, are so big they don't really fit too well. They come all the way over here and all the way over here. So I said to the company I want some new number plates, and they made me these. And there was a little note in there saying, sorry, made this incorrect, but you can have these, you might prefer them. So the ones they were supposed to make me were these, and you can see the numbers are slightly bigger. And these have got smaller, and I actually prefer the smaller ones, so I'm glad they made that by mistake, because I'm going to stick to one with the smaller numbers on, and just have obviously a couple of sets of spare number plates. So yeah, they look pretty cool. I'll get them on, just got to drill some holes, 1, 2 holes, and get them mounted. I wanted to put the military plate on somewhere. I was thinking about sticking it up here, but that's not really going to work. So okay, as soon as we've got the sign back, I will show you that. Okay, so we have the sign, which looks great, absolutely perfect, done a real good job. I'll step back a bit. Yeah, really happy with that. So hopefully, well, that does look almost exactly the same. Well, it does look original. It looks like it's been there for a long time. Exactly how it is in the pictures, handwritten. Obviously you could have got some letters and stuck them on there, but it would have looked too square. That looks really good. So you may notice the bonnet's off. The charge light wouldn't go out, so I was googling it because I couldn't figure out why it wasn't charging. And basically your voltage regulator here has got little terminals in it, like points, open and close to swap the circuits over when it's charging. I don't really understand it, to be honest, but I looked on there and a lot of people said it's a voltage regulator that can be a problem, so I took it off. All the terminals were, all the points were really corroded and horrible, so I cleaned them all up, sorted it all out, put it back on, and now it works fine. So I haven't got around to putting the batteries on charge. It's gone a bit flat, so I'll put the bonnet back on. Also, the wheel is off because the steering box, which is just up underneath there, has got such a slight weep to it still, so I really don't want it to be leaking. So I know exactly what it is. It's just where the surface, you probably remember in one of the other videos, the surface was a bit pitted, it leaks through there. So I'm going to make up 2 gaskets and a bit of gasket paper, a bit of gasket sealant, and put that on there. So get that back together, get the bonnet back on, and we are just in the process of spraying 2 handles to the back and the tailgate. So that is the existing tailgate. I ordered a tailgate, which I thought was for a 107. Cost me £360. There it is. It doesn't fit. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with the tailgates. So I just used the old one that was on there. I've cleaned it all up, bolted it back together, fixed it, sorted it out. And I'll be selling this one at a Bewley Auto Jumble soon for the 4x4s. I'll sell that. I'm not sure if you've seen the fire extinguishers. Yeah, I did show you the fire extinguishers, didn't I? There they both are, the ones that I've got. Made some little brackets to hold them in place. I'm just waiting on my friend now, who's doing the bending of the tube. Oh, we've put the number plates on. Number plates are on. They look really smart. Just waiting for my friend to do the bending of the tube, and I've got some wooden ladders now for the roof, so it is almost there. I'm going to call that it, so hang on a minute. I'm going to call that it now for this video, because the next video, I think, we're going to go for a test drive. We're going to be taking it down the road and seeing how she goes once the ladder rack's in place. So next video, ladder rack in place, wooden ladders on the roof. and test drive, we'll see that and she'll be out. So okay, we'll catch you on the next one.